Right, that was a coda that I'd made for the jazz standard Misty. So how do we make an ending for a jazz standard? Well, if we've got to do it on the spot, there's one or two standard things that you can do. For instance, just play the last phrase 3 times, that works. Or you could play it 3 times, but the second time raise it a semitone. So for instance, so I've gone to F sharp minor 7 to B7, then go back to F minor 7, B flat 7, and back to the tonic. If the last melody note is the tonic, you can play a major 7th, a semitone above the tonic. So instead of going straight to E flat major, go to E major 7. You can make a nice little arpeggio there with the thirds and the 7th. So I play 3rd, 3rd, 7th in the middle, and then the same thing on the E flat major 7. In this video though, what I want to talk about is a slightly more sort of creative way, and it's a fun thing to practice. It's where you just harmonise the very final note with a totally different chord. And then you've got to try and sort of find a little route back to the tonic at the end. So you can experiment, just try all the different chords that you can find to harmonise the final note E flat with. So for instance, you could use C minor 7. That would be what we call in classical music an interrupted cadence. 5-6 at the end instead of 5-1. Or you could go to B major 7. Now you could actually couple that with the semitone above the tonic, because B major 7 to E major 7 is a strong down a 5th chord progression and then down a semitone to the tonic. You could harmonise the E flat with a G7 chord. That would make that the flattened 13th, so you could put the flattened 9th in there. You could harmonise it with an A7, the E flat being the flattened 5th. Now, the chord I chose though was A half diminished, or A minor 7 flat 5. Now, I then actually, having decided on that chord, I changed the melody note. Instead of E flat, I went up to G, because I thought that just added to the element of surprise. Now, having decided on that chord, I've then got to find a way back to the tonic. So, first of all, right, well, where will A minor 7 flat 5 normally go to? We tend to think of a minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished as a 2 chord in a minor key. So, A minor 7 flat 5 is chord 2 in the key of G minor. And it would usually go to D7, which is chord 5. So that's where I went to. Little arpeggio. And I went to a D7 chord. And the B flat being the flattened 13th, which goes down to the 5th. And I put the flattened 9th in. To keep the interest when you're landing on dominant chords, try and look at the altered notes, see how you can make it interesting. Now, D7 then would go to G minor. If it was actually in the key of G minor, that would be a minor with a major 7th, which would be a little bit hard. So instead, I played a G minor 7. So, and then I went into a little musical sequence. I played exactly the same thing on a C minor 7 chord. And G to C is a good strong progression because it's down a 5th. Let's go down another 5th, but slightly change the melody at the top. So I'm going to F minor 7. Now at this point, you can think, Right, F minor 7. Now we are heading home because that is chord 2 in the key of E flat. So we could go straight to chord 5, but instead I've gone to a 7th chord, a semitone above. I've gone to B7. So another little surprise there really. And then I've gone on to chord 5. Little arpeggio going up the chord notes. And then I've finished on A in the melody. So that's an E flat major 7 chord, but with the sharpened 11th, which is a nice one to finish on. Hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't done so far, can you give it a thumbs up and subscribe and have a go at that yourself? Just try finding a different chord to end on and then try and find your way home again. See you in the next video.